Welcome back on Gaming. This is Devin, and now we know everything that we need to know about the PSVR2. We know the price, $550. We know when it's coming out, February 22nd. We know that there's going to be pre-orders later in November, maybe mid-November. We know the specifications for this console or headset accessory. We know it's going to be a very well-made piece of hardware from Sony, just as good as any of their consoles. And I think one of the most important things to look at or to talk about is if this is going to be successful, if this is going to be supported actually by Sony in the long run. But I think the best way to look at that is to look basically what they have already done in the past. We know, of course, that their main consoles are phenomenal. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, all of them. And then we look at PSP. PSP was a very loved console. I believe sold very well as well, especially once it was jailbroken. So there's that. And then there was a release of the PS Vita. This thing. And the PS Vita, I personally love it. People, when they got it, they loved it. But when it came out, it was not very loved. No one really bought it. Sony cut support of it really quickly just because they weren't selling what they wanted to sell. And also, cell phones were getting really good with gaming, so why even have a PSVR or PS Vita anymore? And it was a shame that they cut support so early, and then also it didn't really help that their launch lineup wasn't phenomenal. I mean, they had an Uncharted game and a bunch of basically tech demos for it. So there's that, and then we got the PSVR, which I would say really followed pretty close in the steps of the PS Vita. Sorry. And, they just had a bunch of tech demos when the PSVR came out. They had that Rush of Blood game, the roller coaster one, which they have a roller coaster one now for the PSVR2 as well. But, I mean, I wouldn't say that the lineup for the launch lineup was that good. And, I mean, I couldn't really tell you really, what games are really impressive for the first PSVR. And I mean, they had, I would say, like the Rick and Morty related stuff was a lot of fun. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, I would say the most important thing about this console is wires, because there's a lot of them. So now we finally get to the PSVR2. And we got a price that's, of course, a lot higher than the PSVR. Which is more than a PS5, then this can only be used with the PS5. The PS5 is still sort of hard to find. Probably will be easier to find once the console comes out or the PSVR2 comes out. I would say one of the big things, though, is that you can only use it on the PS5 because, I mean, it would be pretty cool if you can use it on Steam or, just anywhere, this headset, but can't do that, of course. And then also, I mean, one of the things I think that's going to happen with this is that they're going to cut support of it pretty fast, because I'm pretty sure that they'll see that the sales of this is not going to be phenomenal just because there's so many issues, just like I just said there. So, I hope that it does well because it seems pretty cool, especially if, there's only that like one wire that they show in the photos for it. It was just such a pain hooking this thing up, and you will go ahead and see how this does. But I mean, I would say that looking at the past of Sony, their handheld / accessories for their consoles, there's nothing really to look forward to. But anyways, let me know what you think below. Are you pre-ordering it? Excited for it, I guess. But thanks for watching. We'll talk later. Bye.
Oh.